Hello. Okay, so I've got this up here just because, we might as well use it since the holidays are technically still going on for most people. We're going to talk about, though, the things that you need to keep in mind as we're wrapping up this holiday season moving forward, because you want to keep the momentum going, right? You put a lot of effort into making the holidays the best they possibly could be, and now it's time to make sure that we build off of that. So let's get the party started. So, hopefully your holiday was everything you wanted it to be, maybe even a little bit more. That's what we're shooting for here, right? But, we want to make sure that we don't let everything drop, right? There's kind of a big deep breath that happens as we're going towards New Year and into January, but you want to make sure you keep your momentum going. So I'm going to give you 5 things to consider, think about, get done over the next few days or weeks so that you keep building on that momentum. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. Short version of the story is tech is my daytime job, my nighttime job, my hobby. Everybody always comes to me with their questions, so that's why I started doing the show. So now you have somebody to go and ask questions of. And if you ever have a question, you can, let me take down this. We don't need to play with this anymore. You can always go to the website. There's a contact form there. If you have any questions, ideas for shows, whatever, feel free. That's where all the good stuff comes from. All right, let us get the party started. Let's do it this way. Okay, so you got all that new cool gear, right? The very first thing you should do after removing all the bloatware is make sure that you move your Google Authenticator to your new devices, right? Because you probably have it set up, right? Because we've talked about doing the 2-factor, and that's a good way to do things. But a lot of people forget this step because they just expect it to sort of be there. And of course it's not, because the Google Authenticator settings that you have currently on your devices are very specific to you. That's what makes it work. So you need to make sure that you move it over. Now it's a multi-step process, but it's not terribly complicated, but I have included in the comments on Mixer and in the descriptions on Facebook and on YouTube a link to, I think it was CNET, that did a really nice walkthrough on how to do it in all the different places. So make sure you go ahead and do that, and also make sure that you're doing it on your personal device, your work devices, and also your employees, right? You want to encourage them to stay safe too, especially since they're probably on your network at some point when they're using their devices. So make sure everybody's doing this, everybody's taking care of business this way, and making sure that everything is in sync the way they need it to be. It doesn't take very long. The last time I did it, I think it took me less than 3 minutes to do the whole thing. That was just for one device. So if I've got it on multiple devices, and that's always a good idea too, make sure that you do this on all of them, and then that way you will be all set and ready to go. Next up, you want to make sure that you refresh or implement, if you haven't done it yet, all the security best practices. Now, this is a big one. What most people don't know, hang on one second, sorry. Okay, I want to get through this without coughing. Christmas time is actually a huge time for the malware and the ransomware attacks. This seems to be counterintuitive for a lot of people, but if you think about it, this is actually the perfect time, right? Because all of the people who do these kinds of bad things out there are expecting us to drop our guard, right? Because we're distracted, we're busy, we're celebrating the holidays. Also, it's a really good time for them to get that ego boosting mentions in the press, right? Because they do big attacks. They do intermittent attacks, which are harder to manage. They go after big and small targets. There's nobody who is safe from this kind of thing. Of course, there's the obvious things of going after the gaming platforms because everybody got their new gaming gears or their new games. But you want to remember that it's not just those that they're going after. So yes, Xbox, PlayStation, all of those kinds of things do get hit hard. Things like, Netflix and those kinds of things where we're consuming get hit, but they're also going after businesses, governments, hospitals, everything. They're just out there throwing their hammer, using their sledgehammer across all of the places on the internet. So make sure that if you don't have your security in place now, that you get it. That you go through, and I've done previous shows on this, the best practices about, not clicking on links and having a malware checker and, all those kind of things. Make sure that your systems are up to date. because all of the operating system folks are doing their very best to stay as close to ahead of this as they possibly can. And make sure that your employees are following those best practices, not just on your work stuff, but also on their personal devices, because again, everybody's bringing their devices into your world. That's just how everything is, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but you want to make sure that their stuff is not your weak point any more than you want your work stuff to be the weak point. So make sure that you're putting those best practices into place, that you're taking care of things. And in case you think, oh, it's okay if it happens, it doesn't really bother me, it won't be an issue. I'm just going to tell you two quick stories, okay? This is from an article that came out 3 days ago. One references a doctor's office that had to go out of business because they got hit with a malware attack, a ransomware attack specifically. They were not able to recover from it in a timely fashion. They couldn't afford to replace all the equipment that they needed to replace, and so they closed their doors. Okay? But it doesn't stop there. So another one, now this one just happened in the past couple of days. So there was a company out in Arkansas. I'm not going to mention them because it doesn't matter. A small company, small-ish, okay? They got hit a couple of months ago. They paid, which most people say not to do, but it's a personal decision you have to make. They paid. They've been struggling to get back into business again. Long story short, they just shut down their business. They've told everybody that they're not getting paid anymore because they just don't have the income. They don't have the money to cover payroll. This was over 300 employees, so they had to let go around the holidays, which is never a good thing for anybody. They have held out a slight hope that they might be able to reopen in January, and if so, they will reach out to all these employees, but there are no guarantees. So when I'm saying these things to you, I'm not saying it just to scare you. I'm saying it because I want you to be prepared. I want you to understand the implications of this kind of thing, because it can be absolutely devastating to any size business, corporation, government. But those of us who are running a small business, it could absolutely wipe us out 100%. So make sure that you're doing the best that you can, doing your backups, following the best practices, and just make everybody take a refresher course on it, right? Just go through. There's plenty of online resources. Let them go through. You do it for yourself. Don't leave yourself out of this, because I see that happen a lot. Okay, I'm going to have my employees do it, but I'm fine. No, we all have to do this on a regular basis to make sure that we're staying up to date, because the rules are changing all the time. So stay on top of it. Make sure that you're getting it taken care of. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to just take one quick second here. Oh, sorry, I don't know why that came up with my name, but it's actually Jason. Hi, Jason. Happy Thursday. I don't know what happened. I did just rebuild my streaming profiles. I guess I messed something up there. My apologies, but that was Jason. Thank you for coming by. And Stuart also. Let's see if, I guess it's going to happen to Stuart too, right? Yeah, everything's coming up with me, and your message didn't even come through. My apologies. Okay, well, thank you. Now I know what I need to do over the weekend. But thank you for coming. I appreciate that. All right, let's keep the party going. Next up, you want to make the most of your device, whether you got a shiny new one or you're using the same one you've had for a long time now. You want to go in and make sure that you're setting up the emergency contact feature on your phone. So what is that? That means that if you are, for whatever reason, incapacitated, unconscious, whatever, when emergency services come to you, you may or may not have ID on you, but you'll probably have your phone on you. And you can set up, whatever phone you're on, you can go in and you can set up a section where you can give them who to contact, any information about like your health, if you are on special medication, if you have allergies to anything, and they don't need to have your ID, your password. They don't need your fingerprint to get to it, because it actually just comes up. Here, I can show you on mine. Lock my phone. Okay, so with a locked phone, when you go in, you'll see down the bottom here, let me go back to the full screen so you can actually see it. So down here at the bottom, you see where it says emergency? That's all that they have to click on. And then it brings up, I'm not going to show you because I've got mine all populated, but it will bring up all of the details about who to contact if anything happens to me, what my allergies are, all that kind of stuff. It's a nice safety feature, and you might as well take advantage of it because it's there for free. Now again, the way that you need to do that does vary a little bit depending on the operating system you're on, so iOS or Android, and the phone. So it's different from Apple to Samsung to the rest of the Android devices. But I've got you covered. If you go and you look in the comments on Mixer, actually maybe I'll copy and paste that and bring that down again just in case anybody didn't see it. Or not, because it's not letting me. Here we go. And in the description on all of the, on Facebook and on YouTube, I gave you links for a little video that, again, I think it was CNET that did it, that walks you through exactly how to do it on all the platforms. Again, it does not take long, but it is a virtually life-saving thing, especially if you're allergic to some medications. But also so that, the people you want to get notified. Why am I including this in a business thing? Because if something happens to you, it's happening to your business. So you want to make sure that you're keeping those things as short as possible, right? I mean, bad things happen, it's just the way of the world. But the more steps you take to put safety guards in place, the better off you'll be. Along that same line of thought, make sure that you're doing that type of thing for your business, right? So make sure that you've got a backup copy of all of your records. If you have a physical location that you work out of, which most of us do, even if you're doing a service thing where maybe people are coming to you, but you're working out of it, you need to make sure that you have a backup plan in case of, fire, flood, storms, you get, trapped, someplace. You went visiting for the holidays, snowstorm hits, you can't get back on time. You want to still be able to do your work wherever you are. You need to have those plan Bs, right? You want to make sure that you've got your short and long-term contingency planning in place, right? To cover whatever might come up. You want to make sure that you're also doing your succession planning, right? Because that is the type of thing that a lot of people don't want to think about, right? Something could happen to me. Something could keep me from being able to do my business. I could be dead someday. Well, I will be dead someday. I could be dead when I don't anticipate it. Whatever. You need to make sure that you are getting all those safeguards in place for your business as well as for yourself, because again, for us small business people, we are our business is us. So we want to make sure we get all of those things covered. Okay? I'm not trying to be a downer during the holidays here, but it's important to take these things into account, to get them in place so that we can start the new year on the right foot, heading in the right direction. What's wrong? I don't know, my dog's being all weird. There must be some loud noises that I can't hear. All right, let's keep going. Make sure that you reach out and thank, right, your service providers, your customers, your suppliers, all those people. Now, I know you're thinking, I already did that, Kath. I took care of that during the holidays. I did it on my socials. I sent out cards. I reached out to everybody. And that's all great and absolutely a good thing to do then. But if you think about it, that thank you that you gave, while I'm sure greatly appreciated, was buried under a bunch of others, right? Because everybody does it this time of year. So it doesn't hurt to send out a secondary one in the beginning of the year, because things get quiet then. And so any kind of reaching out that you do is going to have a bigger impact then. Not that you shouldn't do it during the holiday, because you should, because people expect it then. But do the unexpected, do a special follow-up. Thank them for everything that they did to help you get through your holiday season. Thank them in advance of the help that that they're going to provide to you for the year coming up. And I'm just realizing that I really should have put employees on here too, because you should thank your employees, whether they're contractors or employees, direct employees. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to them too. Everybody's a little down in January, right? It's cold, it's dark, the holidays are over. Most of us don't get another break, for many months, if, maybe the whole year. So do that extra step. It doesn't have to be anything big. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Put an extra thank you post on your social, on your blog. Send out a little extra thank you email to kick off the year. Maybe in that mention some stuff that you're going to be offering during the coming year that they can look forward to. Whatever. Don't make it too sales pitchy. Just make sure you reach out and you thank them, because they're going to appreciate that. This is the kind of personal touch that as small businesses, we can get more mileage out of, because when it comes from a corporation, it feels like it comes from a corporation, right? If Coca-Cola starts sending you, thank yous for buying, their soda, it's going to be a pre-processing. Whereas you can do something special to these people who are really a part of your business, whether you're a solo or you're just a small business. All of these different people are reaching out. Definitely thank your customers for being there through the holidays. Follow up, say, hey, I hope that you are happy and satisfied with what, we provided to you. If not, please get in touch. We want to make it right. Do those kinds of things, because that is the kind of extra service, personal touch, one-on-one engagement that makes us stand out, makes people want to do business, makes people reach out specifically to do business with small businesses. So do that now that, everything's quieting down a little bit and we're getting ready to launch into the new year. Take a couple of seconds and do that. And along those lines, make sure that if you want to stay on top of the things that are coming out next year, I've got big plans. Just tell you, it's going to be a big year. So if you want to get on the mailing list, go to yourtechcoach.com/mailing list. I don't spam. I don't sell my list. This is solely so I can keep you up to date with what's going on, show topics, and other things. Other things are coming. I'm just saying. So go ahead and join the mailing list. If you're already on the list or you just don't want to be on it, that's fine. If you're looking to say thank you, there's a really easy way for you to say thank you to me, and that is follow, subscribe, share, like, all those things. It helps me because it lets me know that, yes, this is working for you. It also helps the different search algorithms because the more of that kind of activity they see, the more likely they are to push this content out. So more people can come and join our party. So if you're looking for something, those are the two easy, fast ways that you can reach out and say thank you to me. Because I would appreciate that. That does help. Alrighty, let's go back to the party. Okay, so next up. This is a big one, right? And this is one we come back to a lot. You put a lot of effort into your planning for the holidays, right? You did all of your planning. You got all the stuff out there. Whoops, I'm sorry. I didn't push that forward. Okay. There we go. You did all that effort, right? The planning, the scheduling, made sure your voice was out there during the holidays. Don't stop now. Make sure you have sat down, you got your piece of paper, you got your calendar out, whatever your favorite tool is for this kind of planning. Do your planning. After you do your planning, create as many of those materials as you possibly can in advance and go ahead and schedule them in your favorite tool of choice, right? As we talked about before, one of the ways that we can help ourselves as small businesses is by taking advantage of the automation tools that we have at our disposal. So whether you're using something like Hootsuite or Later or whatever it is that you like to use, go put your blog posts in there. We can actually do the blog posts usually in your blog tool. Schedule your blogs to go out over the next couple of weeks. Schedule your social media to go out. Again, we talked about this at the beginning of the holidays. Now maybe is another good time to do it. Pick one of the social media platforms that you're not using. Come up with a 3 or a 6 month plan. Put content out there. See what kind of feedback you get from that. See what kind of numbers you get back from the analytics. It's a great time to do that kind of stuff. It's a great time to try something new, but don't let the ones that you've been doing fall by the wayside either. And the easiest way to do this is through automation. You can repurpose a lot of this stuff. You can do, a posting, for the second week of January and reuse it in the third week of February and the first week of March. Look for those kinds of opportunities. That way you're not making yourself crazy trying to get all this stuff done every day. Instead, set aside an hour or two, sometime over the next few days and schedule out the next month or two if you're feeling ambitious. The more that you can do that, the more you're going to be sure that your message is getting out there, that you're not dropping the ball, that all these people who discovered you over the holidays remain engaged, remain up to date with what you're doing, and you're not making yourself any more stressed out because you're scheduling it, you're letting the tools take care of getting it out there once you figured out what your message is. And again, this does not mean that you can't do the on the fly, hey, I just had an idea, or something funny just happened, or I want to share something new with you kind of posts. Absolutely keep doing those. But you want to have a regular plan for your message. You want to make sure that you're getting out there. Take a look at all of the social media holidays, right? All the hashtag holidays. There's plenty of websites out there with lots of good links on them. And again, I've done different shows on this that had some of those links. Make sure you get the regular, the standard holidays. If you do a President's Day sale, if you do, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, look for opportunities. Even if it doesn't feel like it's a direct fit, there's usually a way that you can tie whatever it is that you're doing into whatever that holiday is. Get those done, get those plans. Those are not surprises, right? We know Valentine's Day is coming, President's Day is coming, Memorial Day will come, Mother's Day, graduations, all that kind of stuff. So rather than, I'll get to it, I'll remember it later, don't take the chance. Do it now. Do your planning, do your scheduling, get it out there, and then that frees you up to focus on your business for those periods and also to come up with those more creative, fun, on-the-fly kind of things. Make sense? All right. Just as a refresher, here we go. These are the 5. You want to make sure that you take Google Authenticator and put it onto those shiny new devices that you got. because that doesn't happen automatically. In the Android one in particular, like when you get your new device and you sign in, all that stuff just gets loaded. That doesn't happen with Authenticator. That's a more manual process for good reasons. So you want to make sure you do that. And by the way, you iOS people who are probably going, why is she talking only about Android? I'm not in this case. Google Authenticator works on iOS and Android, so no excuses. And if you don't want to use the Google one, there are other ones out there. So whatever one you're using, just make sure you move it. Make sure that you refresh, or if you haven't done it yet, implement your security best practices. Very important. Could really make the difference between your business living or dying next year. Just do a search. If you don't, search for ransomware, small businesses, just for like the past 6 months or the past year. You'll be horrified by what comes up. So be prepared. Set up the emergency contacts on your phone and do that kind of contingency planning, succession planning for your business. Make sure all that stuff is in place. Reach out, thank your customers, your suppliers, your service providers, your employees, okay? In January or February, reach out. Thank them again. Thank them for what they did for you during the holidays. Tell them what you're planning to do for them during the year. Don't let all that engagement that you did during the holidays just fall by the wayside. Kick in and go do that. And right now, plan and schedule your social media marketing. Get it all ready. Build what you can. Get it out there so you don't have to worry about it, so you can focus on your business. And all the links that I mentioned are either in the comments over on Mixer or are in the description on YouTube and on Facebook. All right? And as always, if you need help, if you have questions, if you're thinking about maybe doing some live streaming this year, maybe that's the thing you're going to reach out and start into, make sure that you reach out, because that's what I'm here for. So if you want information about it, if you're not sure, you can set up an appointment and we can have a free consultation where I can help you figure out what's best for your business. Just go to yourtechcoach.net. If you are looking to maybe get into the live streaming thing, again, you can set up a consultation and I will explain everything that's involved and how I can help you do it remote and all that kind of good stuff. But regardless, use this time, use this opportunity to really get yourself going in the right direction for the new year. Build off of all of the hard work you've done during the holiday season, and you're going to be in a much better situation come next holiday season. I hope everybody is having a good one. I hope that you'll put these in place to help yourself for the next year, and I will see you next week at 8 o'clock Eastern. Yes. I was just like, no, I'm going to be able to be here next week. With the holidays, everything's all messed up, but I will be here next week, 8 p.m. as usual. I'm also going to be on Twitch this evening around 10:30 and tomorrow also at 10:30. So if you want to come continue this conversation or you just want to come hang out, feel free to come join the party. I'm your tech coach over there too. Hope everybody's having a good one. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. Here, I'll even bring this up one more time because it's going to go away. Look at all that stuff. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.